Hello everyone, welcome back to another December video. Today there are two things we're covering. First of all, there is a new dev post that we just need to cover quickly, and then there's something I'll tell you about just after this. Firstly, let's go over the new dev post about some updated on the ages. Now, this is sort of interesting, but also a little bit questionable, right? So basically, they posted earlier today that, as promised last week, would like to offer a follow-up in regards to our plans for the GTP class, blah blah blah. In particular, the hybrid system model and the tire construction that was built for this class. However, before we get into the details, we would once again like to thank you for the feedback, blah blah blah. They are happy that we're passionate about the racing. That's basically it. That they've noticed that the GTPs are, of course, basically completely off what they should be in terms of the real life comparison. We all know the outlash that has recently happened. It's been basically everywhere, right? So they basically saying that they've noticed that and that they want to work on it, right? So basically, they say here, first and foremost, we agree that work is needed to more accurately simulate these cars, and they are investing resources with priority, and they are going to update it in two stages: the tires first and then the hybrid system, right? So this got me positive. I was like, all right, hopefully this could be soon. I get that game development isn't as hard, but as we move down, while we are pleased with the driving feel improvements and advancements made with the latest tire model version, which I can agree on, I think the new tire model is not necessarily the biggest issue. The fact that there's a little bit more slip and it is less based on heat buildup, I think is definitely a good thing, right? So next up, they say that the car-specific models that debuted in the GTP class in LMP2 missed the mark, with grip resulting in higher than desired cornering speeds. Beginning with GTP, our redevelopment will involve comprehensive reconstruction of the physical tire and its composition. As a result, expect to recalibrate expectations around how the car drives at a limit. We are targeting release updates tires next season. So it's still another 3 months away with these updated tires. Now, what kind of got me already questioning this at this point was, for me personally, the tire update is maybe a little step in the right direction in terms of heat buildup and stuff. I like what they've done there. For me, the problem is potentially more in the aero model, and the fact that through Porsche curves you're carrying 60 kilometers an hour more than what you should be. On top of that, the straight line speed compared to real life is actually a little bit kind of slower than real life, right? So potentially the problem lies more on the aero model for me. Probably also on the tire model, of course. It's probably a mix of them. But here they just mentioned the tire model. Now, on top of that, they say once the tire redev picks up steam, we'll begin a complete overhaul of the hybrid system. So this is also something that they are going to be changing after there's been quite a bit of outrage about this as well. People saying that it's simply not acceptable that you guys don't have a hybrid system that actually works like it would in real life, because it's completely irrelevant to how the hybrid system drives in real life. How the hybrid system drives in iRacing is two completely different things that basically have nothing to do with each other. Anyways, they say that a hybrid system overhaul might take a bit longer than the tire work, so we do want to set expectations appropriately, and you may not receive these updates until later, which is fair enough. I mean, it takes time to develop these kind of things, right? The GTP cars will respect the willpower limit specified by the rules and will replenish energy during pit stops. 499P will follow the appropriate rule set and will not deploy electrically below 190 kilometers an hour, which is good that they are doing a rework of this. But I simply cannot believe that it almost seems like the way they're saying this is that they have not even taken this into consideration before the outrage has come into play. It's like people have started complaining about this, and it's really become a highlight or a big topic, not only for the iRacing community, but for the whole sim racing community, that iRacing is actually completely off what they're doing. And the fact that the fact that it needs to get to that point for them to actually change something proper, start working on proper hybrid development, stuff like that, for me is it's a bit too insane. I know, for me at least, I haven't had the highest expectations with iRacing for a long time, because sometimes they just, well, in my opinion, a lot of times they develop below where I actually expect them to. But for me, this is just an absolutely new low. While I still like iRacing for its service, which actually Random Call Sign made a really good video about how iRacing works and how it's basically just a service. I'll link that in the description. I think you should go watch it. It's a good opinion, in my opinion, and basically explains that, or basically proves that iRacing is just here for the service, and that's why it's still so popular, right? It's nothing to do with the fact that it's super realistic. And I think that this is good for them to sort of get a reality call that hopefully they should fucking do something about this stuff, right? I mean, it's almost ridiculous, but it's good to know that we're actually getting some change here for once, and they're actually doing something about it. The fact that it hasn't been done in development or something is of course a bummer, but there's nothing to do about that now, so we'll just have to wait for these new updates and see what happens. Now, next up, I quickly want to cover something. I was doing daily December uploads, but I have decided to call that off. My grandma got rushed to the hospital the other day and is not doing well. In fact, she's not conscious in there, so I'm taking that as a, sort of a priority over everything else. If I have time and I have the will to make a video like just covering this topic quickly, I will, but I don't want to put pressure on myself to do a daily video in those circumstances, right? I want to do it if I have the time, if I have the will, but not put any pressure on my daily life, on my daily stuff like that, because I need to be available somewhere else with other priorities. Oh well, I guess that's it for this video. I will see you guys around. Merry Christmas and have a lovely day. Bye.